I think his daughter Holly Holm really deserves something. Just all I can give her is recognition and help her, you know. But if you judge the fact that she is close to 40 professional boxing fights, including, you know, world title level fights where she won world title in multiple weight classes. So when you take, you know, Holly Holm's losses in boxing, and again, you're talking about world level, she took a loss to Anne-Sophie Mathis. Watch this fight on YouTube. Go and watch it. Because what we saw with Holly Holm in MMA, where she brings heart and where she's been hurt and she keeps fighting and stuff like that, this is a knockout. This is a knockout where Holm gets up and she's getting trashed. I mean, she's getting hit. And she actually falls back and she has an arm trapped in the ropes, so she can't even protect herself. And she's sitting there open, and the other girl is teeing off on her. And it shows every bit of the heart that this girl has. And then you consider that she won the rematch. So you're talking about a girl who's writing elite stories in boxing and then crosses over to MMA. And if you look at it and you take her career of boxing and MMA and you juxtapose them, you see that she delved in lower level MMA while boxing. And then she took a loss in MMA and said, I'm going back. She did this sequence of fights with Anne-Sophie Mathis to seal the deal in boxing. And then when she was ready, she came over to MMA and competed at a high level again. So she tasted it, but recognized the potential for the high level activity, not just gimmicky paydays or, hey, I fight on the side on weekends and, you know, fill up a casino in Arizona. This was a girl with a big idea. And when she came over, and I mean, basically what she did is she took Ronda Rousey to school. She took Ronda, who was a competitor in judo and a savant at fighting the way she crossed over, but she took her to school. That was a downtown ass beating. And it came from just a superior fighter at what they did. You know, she was so much more advanced than Rousey as a fighter. There was almost, that was the conclusion you were getting. And then watch her fight with Cyborg. She loses, but never stops fighting, right?
Right.
But if you consider there isn't a man in boxing who could come over to MMA and be a champion.
Not a one. Not. You're exactly right.
You start with Mayweather. Mayweather begins with luring fighters to do his sport and not traveling to the other thing. It's too elite. It's too elite of a specialty, the boxing is, for them to be able to adjust all the other things. So it starts with it's a very different sport, and you have to accept that, right? So consider no boxer is ever going to win an MMA world title.
I totally agree with you, and I don't mean this to be disrespectful, but it begs the question: does that have as much to do with the fact that women's MMA is not as far along as men's MMA is? Or does that have to do with Holly Holmes being that great of an athlete that she was just able to step over the boundary and beat what was at the time supposedly the most unbeatable, greatest women's MMA athlete of all time?
Yeah. You know, here's the thing is, I think you're right. I think Holly Holm came at the right time. It was the right place in the right time. I think if the sports continue to develop the way they're developing, the specialties are going to be so hyper advanced that nobody's going to be able to cross over. Just like on the men's side, you're not going to get an MMA guy who's going to go over and be a boxing champion. That's not going to happen either.
Yeah.
You know, John Jones can say all he wants to about how in 2 years he can compete boxing. He's nuts. It ain't going to happen. If not, show me. Just show me. Stop talking about it.
I want to see it.
It has to be done to be believed. I don't believe it can be done. Right? So, with that said, Holm gets a special spot. She did what is never going to be done again.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe benefit a little bit from a lack of real competition, but she did do it the right way. We talked about it. She fought 10 MMA fights. You know? She'd won her share of MMA fights. That to me is putting in the work. You know? It's not a McGregor fight Mayweather. She didn't come right over and fight Ronda Rousey, which she probably could have, and won in the style of fight that they fought, and because because Holm has a complete concept as a martial artist of a game plan and what to do, and and the back and forth. She game planned Ronda Rousey to death.
Miguel, was it just me? I mean, was I the only person that looked at that fight from the moment they made it and said, why on earth are they going to get Ronda's ass beat like that?